Prince Charles let slip his real feelings about Vladimir Putin by comparing the Russian president to Adolf Hitler, claimed a Jewish museum volunteer after a conversation with the Prince of Wales. Putin today insisted that Russian interests and security are non-negotiable, hours after U.S. President Joe Biden warned of the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. On Monday, Putin declared that Russia had recognized the independence of two rebel-held southeastern regions of Ukraine, Luhansk and Donetsk. In doing so, the Russian president tore up an 8-year peace treaty with Ukraine. The West responded by announcing a range of sanctions against Russia, with the U.S. targeting Russia's elites and its foreign debt in particular. Meanwhile, the EU and UK announced sanctions against Russian banks and individuals. In 2014, Putin also received enormous backlash from the West after Russia made moves on Ukraine, which included the annexation of Crimea. Allegedly, the Prince of Wales, who traditionally remains neutral on political matters as a member of the royal family, compared the Putin foreign policy to the Nazi aggression which led to World War II. During a royal tour of Canada, Charles spoke to a woman who fled the Nazis and lost members of her family during the Holocaust. Charles and Camilla were paying tribute to World War II veterans and their families during a tour of the Museum of Immigration in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Marianne Ferguson explained to Charles that she fled to Canada with her family shortly before the Nazis annexed the Free City of Gdansk in 1939. After meeting the Prince of Wales, Ms. Ferguson claimed, "The Prince said, and now Putin is doing just about the same as Hitler. I must say that I agree with him, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But I was very surprised that he made the comment, as I know, royal family members aren't meant to say these things. I told the Prince that while my family and I were lucky to get a permit to travel, many members of my relatives had permits but were unable to get out before the war broke out on September 1st. The comments were allegedly made just weeks before Charles attended the 70th anniversary of the D-Day landings in Normandy, which was also attended by Putin. In response to Ms. Ferguson's claim, a Clarence House spokesperson said, "We do not comment on private conversations. But we would like to stress that the Prince of Wales would not seek to make a public political statement during a private conversation." The comparison Charles allegedly made between Putin and Hitler caused a stir in political circles. Mike Rapes, who at the time was Labour MP for Ilford South, condemned the Prince of Wales, insisting that if he wished to make controversial statements he should abdicate or stand for election. Mr. Grapes added on Twitter, "Monarchy should be seen and not heard." However, Deputy Prime Minister at the time Nick Clegg said Charles was free to express himself. He told BBC Breakfast, "I have never been of this view that if you are a member of the royal family somehow you have to enter into some Trappist vow of silence." Professor Jenny Hawking, historian and member of the National Committee of the Australian Republic Movement, said Charles makes no bones about being more political than his mother. She told Express.co.uk, "Many people have been disturbed by the way in which Charles, far more overtly than the Queen, has engaged in political matters. I mean, he makes no bones about that in many respects. He becomes involved in political questions over architecture, over the environment, over advocating for the fox hunt and so on. Well, traditionally, these are areas in which the monarchy claims to have no involvement, should have no involvement. So he's already, I think, caused some consternation with his public political pronouncements that are not the place of the future monarch to make." The decade-long battle for The Guardian between 2005 and 2015 to have the Black Spider memos released ended up with the contents being published. While many people viewed them as a damn squib in the end, Professor Hawking argued that they are actually quite concerning. However, their eventual publication, she argued, was a chink in the armor of so-called royal secrecy. She compared it to the recent revelations in The Guardian about the Queen's Assent, a process by which Her Majesty has vetted over 1,000 bills that would concern her or her property before they went before Parliament. She said, "We saw some time ago now, again from The Guardian, through their FOI requests, a decade-long battle to release what were called the Spider letters from Prince Charles to members of the Blair government, including Blair himself. Again, directly involving himself in policy decisions by the government, again access that is denied any normal person, but to which by virtue of their position they have. And, of course, remember that at all times the monarchy is meant to remain and claims to be above politics and not to involve themselves with political decisions." Well, clearly that is not the case. After The Guardian's victory in 2015, the rules were actually changed to make correspondence between to and from royals exempt from Freedom of Information requests.